Hello everyone. So in the last session of microeconomics, we discussed about what is a market and how different levels of production, consumption, and prices affect the market equilibrium. So in this session, we are going to discuss about how actually market operates. So this session will have two parts. In this first part, we are going to discuss about externalities, and in part 2 we will discuss about elasticity of demand and supply. So to first study what is an externality, we need to know what are private and social costs or benefits. So the private costs are the costs that are incurred by the firm or an individual consumer. So for example, by driving a car, the fuel expenses, the maintenance charges, or the depreciation of the vehicle, all these costs are incurred by the individual, and thus these are the private costs. Whereas when we talk about social cost, it is the total cost to the society. That means the private cost plus any external cost. Like if we take the same example of driving a car, so the fuel expenses and the cost of increased congestion will in totality make up the social cost. Another example can be taken of an airport. If the cost of constructing the airport is borne by an individual person or a group of individuals, and thus this is the private cost. But the social cost here will be the private cost, as well as the noise or the air pollution or the loss of landscape that is caused by the airport. Next concept is of private benefit and social benefit. So private benefit refers to the benefits that an individual or group of individuals receive from a particular activity or decision. So these benefits are exclusive to the individual or group, and these are not shared with others in the society. But on the other hand, when we talk about social benefit, these are the benefits that are enjoyed by the society as a whole and as a result of a particular activity or any particular decision. So these benefits are not limited to any particular individual or group and are shared with everyone in the society. For example, if a company decides to invest in some renewable energy resources, so the private benefit would be the cost savings and increased profits for only the company. But when we talk about social benefit in this case, the that would be the reduction in carbon emissions or the positive impact on environment that is created because of investment in renewable energy resources. So that makes up the difference between the private benefit and social benefit. Now, when we talk about externality, so externality is a cost or benefit that is caused by a producer who is not financially that is not financially incurred or received by that particular producer. An externality can thus be both positive or negative. When it is related to the cost, it is said to be a negative externality. But when it is related to the benefit, if the benefit spills over, that means the benefit is taken up by the third party, then it is said to be positive externality. So the costs and benefits can be both private or social, and then these externalities actually occur in an economy when the production or consumption of a specific good or service impacts a third party. That means an unrelated third party gets affected or takes up the benefit of a particular consumption or production of a good. So many corporations, what they do is they actually pass the cost of externalities onto the consumers by making the good or service expensive. So externalities have an impact on the consumption as well as the production opportunities of unrelated third parties, but the price of consumption does not include the externality. So there are different types of externalities. So they can be broken down into two different categories. The first is the positive externality and the second is the negative externality. So they can be measured as good or bad, as the side effects may enhance or be detrimental to an external party. These are referred to as then positive or negative. So first, when we talk about positive externalities, so these occur when there is a positive gain or both the private level as well as the social level. So for example, when we talk about emphasis on education, so that is a positive externality because investment in education leads to a smarter and a more intelligent workforce. Another example can be of R&D. So when R&D is conducted by a company, it can be a positive externality because it increases the private profits of a company, but also has an added advantage of increasing the general level of knowledge within the society in which the manufacturing unit or the company is operating. Another example can be of life insurance. Then when we talk about negative externalities, it is said that most externalities are negative in nature. When one very well known example is of pollution. So a corporation may decide to cut the cost and increase their profits by implementing new operations, new methods that are more harmful to the environment. So that will result into negative externalities. So the corporation then realizes that in the form of expanding operations, they are increasing the returns but also increasing the cost to the society as a whole. So there can be different effects of externalities on the society. One very real example can be taken of a program that operates in United States, and it is known as RGGI. That means Regional Greenhouse Gas Initiative. So it is made up of 12 states of United States. One is California and some 11 northeast states in US. So RGGI is there a mandatory cap and trade program that limits the carbon dioxide emissions in US. So this is an example of externality and how do people deal with externality. So externalities actually may be positively or negatively affecting the economy, although it is usually the latter one. So by taking an example of an oil spill, so instead of those funds going to support innovation or public programs or economic development, these resources are inefficiently put towards fixing negative externalities, that is the oil spill in an ocean or a river. So externalities do not always have a positive impact or a negative impact, but it is usually seen that the negative effect on the economy is more than the positive effect. This comes up to another concept that will help us in categorizing goods. So goods can be categorized into four types based on their excludability and rivalry. So first let's understand what is excludability. So excludability means that a person who does not pay for a good will not be able to consume. That means if you pay for a particular good, then only you will be able to consume it. For example, if you go to purchase a burger, so if you pay for that burger, then only you will be able to consume it. A very simple example of excludability. If you do not pay for that particular product or service, you will not be able to consume it. But when we talk about rivalry, so rivalry occurs when one person, if he has consumed a particular good or service, then another person, even if he pays for it, but cannot consume it. So same example of a burger, that particular burger is consumed by a particular consumer by paying for it. Another person will not be able to consume that same burger now. So that is the concept of rivalry. So the four categories of goods are decided on the basis of excludability and rivalry. So first category is of private goods. So private goods are both excludable and rivalrous. Excludable means that if you pay for it, then only you will be able to consume it. And rivalry here will mean that if one person has already consumed, another person will not be able to consume it. So what happens is, if you go to a showroom of lifestyle and you purchase a particular product, maybe jeans, then if you have paid for that jeans, then only you will be able to take benefit of that particular product. And if you have already purchased that jeans, another person will not be able to purchase that particular jeans now. Maybe another variety he can purchase, but that particular product, that particular jeans with a particular barcode cannot be purchased by another person. So same goes with food, same goes for automobiles or other consumable goods. Second category is of common goods. So common goods like fish, timber, coal, wood, all these are common goods. That means these are non-excludable. If you have not paid for it, then also you can consume it. If a person catches fishes from a river or cuts trees for wood, then he is not paying for planting that particular tree, or he is not paying for that particular river, but he will be able to consume the products out of it. But if one person has consumed it, another person will not be able to consume that particular product now. Third category is of club goods. So these are excludable but non-rival based. For example, cinemas, private parks, satellite TV, subscription of Netflix or Amazon Prime. So if you pay for that particular product, then only you will be able to consume it. Okay, but when one particular consumer has taken the benefit of a subscription of Netflix, then also another person can take benefit out of it, can take the consumption of a particular good now. So that is why it is said to be excludable but non-rival based. Fourth category of public goods includes the army, the air and the national defense, or the goods that are public in nature. That means even if you have not paid tax, then also you will be able to gain benefit of the army that is protecting you in the country. But when we talk about non-rival based nature, that means even if one person is taking the benefit of the army, another person still can take the benefit of an army that is present in the country. So that is why these goods are termed as public goods, which means these are non-excludable. You can take benefit even if you have not paid for it. And also, if one person has already consumed it, another person can still gain benefit out of it. Okay, so these are the four categories of goods. Another part of the video we'll have on elasticity of demand and supply. So in that we'll study about the responsiveness of demand and supply on change in prices. So thank you.